back towards the water. But if I was a terrapin, I'd be doing exactly the same thing and laying out on that bank, just getting the last of the afternoon rays. It hasn't been very hot at all, even though we had all of that mist today. I thought the sun was going to burn through it and it was going to be, high 20 degrees, but it was just mid 20 degrees Celsius today, so high 70 degree Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. I think it was about 78 in the end. And these guys would have appreciated that weather with sort of open arms. And they're lucky. They are so lucky that our winters are so mild. So they still do get to come out and move around quite a bit. Oh, and a little three-banded plover has just joined the party too. Hello. It's nice to see you. And I love how the terrapins don't react to that little three-banded plover at all. Completely oblivious to it. And it's quite happy to just move through and just peck and catch all the little insects on the surface of the water and on the edge of the mud. And off we go. Just one. I can't see the other one. Sometimes there's two around here. I can't. Oh, there's our heron on the log. Can you see it all the way down there? Now, Adele, you're wondering what is the rarest bird that I've seen? Well, it's not the hardy-dar ibis, and it's not this grey heron that we've got sitting here. That's for sure. I wonder if this is the same heron that moves between Buffelshoek Dam and Vuyatela Dam, because I've never seen them at the same time at either dam, and I have seen it take off and fly this way. The rarest bird I've seen, a collared palm thrush. They're not necessarily rare, but they're difficult to see. I suppose the most rare bird I've seen is the southern ground hornbill. They're one of the most endangered birds in Africa, so they're pretty special. But luckily for us, they're fairly common out here. We do get to see them a couple of times a month, sometimes a few times a week if we're really, really lucky, and I've had some fantastic sightings of them. But I think a collared palm thrush, I saw them in Zambia. They were quite cool. And Eastern Nikita was another one. You always hear them, like sort of the grey-headed bushshrike. You always hear them, but you never see them. I was talking about the Eastern Nikita the other day when I couldn't remember one of the most beautiful birds I've seen. They really are pretty, and they've got a lovely fruity call. So yeah, it's a tough one, but I reckon somewhere around there that would be... Or maybe what else? A white-starred robin? That's not rare a game. They're just difficult to find them. Saw one of those in the Drakensberg. Right, I'm going to go forward. Let's go a little bit forward. And I want to try and get another view of that heron. Ooh, that golden light is so golden. We'll have to just go past it just a little bit. Now, terrapins actually don't even mind that we're driving on the dam wall. That's a first. Let's have another look at the heron. Now, Eric, you were wondering if there were secretary birds in the Sabi Sand. There are, but they're not very common. I've only ever seen them once, and I wasn't even live for it. I was so sad. It was in the afternoon. We had a private rehearsal just before a TV show. I got to see two, but I've been lucky. I've seen so many secretary birds in my life. Down in the Eastern Cape, there were regular pairs that nested. I've seen amazing sightings of them catching snakes, puff adders to Cape cobras, all these sorts of things. And something that I really like that I haven't seen in a very long time is the black-headed heron. We haven't really seen any up here, and we used to get a lot of them down in the Eastern Cape, and they were great because they were also moving around the same sort of area that the secretary birds were moving around. So they prefer sort of longer grass. They don't necessarily fish as much as the grey heron or the Goliath heron or even the greenback heron does. They spend their time wading through the long grass, and their diet mainly consists of snakes, rodents, frogs. So they will go and fish, but if they don't need to, they won't. So it's quite nice. So even though a grey heron and the black-headed heron look fairly similar, they're actually not in direct competition of each other. And that's what's so amazing. And we see that with a lot of different animals out here. They're all sort of, whether they're feeding on the same things, they might just be feeding at different levels. For example, kudu and nyala and bushbuck, they're all different heights. And then, of course, well, we've got our friends, the terrapins, who are just moving their heads. That's quite an interesting shot you've got there, Sebastian. I like the reflection on the water. But it's almost like a silhouette of them, rather, of the terrapins with a beautiful golden light hitting them. And this is one of my favorite spots to stop and just enjoy the afternoon sun, because you really do get a great view of all the sun, if there's a few clouds. There's normally a couple of birds coming to chirp. There's the odd kingfisher that lives around here. and the crested barbets and the oxpeckers nesting in the holes in the dead trees that are around here. So this dam can indeed be filled with an abundance of animals, and it seems as though the turtle doves are coming down to have a drink now too. Let's see if we can get one of them. Where are you going to land? I've only spotted one over, and I need to try and stretch my arm here, but that way my fingers are not long enough. Just on the corner. It's just moving down. So if you zoom in straight where you are, go a little bit to the left, a little bit more to the left, a little bit more. It's there somewhere. Where are you?
Oh, okay.
Have you got him?
Somewhere.
We spotted the turtle dove. Yeah, there he is. There. Well done. Teamwork. That's how we do it. That, of course, is the Cape turtle dove, or the ring-necked dove, as it's also known. Coming down to have a drink, but they'll drink throughout the entire day. I feel as though turtle doves can't fly past a puddle without stopping for a drink. That was very quick. That was just one little sip. But again, very nervous. You see its behavior. It might go back again and have another sip. It's actually very clever that it doesn't hang around the water's edge for too long, because it doesn't know what's underneath that murky water. There could be a crocodile, and a young crocodile will quite happily snatch up a dove. But there's another one that's down for a drink, though, a little bit down and to the right. Keep going. There we go. That's beautiful. That one's not so frightened, though. That one's quite happy to stand with its feet in the water for as long as it needs to. Again, so beautiful with that reflection. It really, really is so lovely. And note how, do you see how they stick their entire beaks into the water? So I'm pretty sure that they're sucking up water through their nostrils rather than sucking it in sort of through their beak, because they just about stick their entire heads in. What have you got there, Sebastian? Just checking.
Elephant poop.
Elephant poop, as Sebastian just said. You can see you've got a young daughter, Seb. Oh, and the impala are coming down now too. Here we go. The life is all starting to go. It's getting better for us. There the impala are running. That's Wiyatela Lodge that you can see, that fence and that building. Good evening, gentlemen. So they've done exactly what they said the animals were doing. They're hiding in the thicket, in that drainage system where the vegetation is lovely and it'll be so tasty. And now they're ready to come down and have one last drink before it gets too dangerous to come to the edge of the water. Now they've got their ears pricked. They're searching around, making sure there's no leopard sneaking up on them. Tingana is far away. I wonder if he's woken up just yet.
Well, the plot thickens. One of the guides just mentioned that on the other side of Tingana there's a burrow. So I wonder if he's actually up here because he's waiting for something to come out. We know that he's got a knack for patiently waiting for things and moving around. So I think maybe if we are patient, we'll see. We'll carry on hoping that perhaps something's gonna come out of it. I think behind us there is a warthog that's very likely seen Tingana. Maybe that's who's been using the burrow. I'm sorry guys, it is a bit complicated to get to this warthog, so I will keep you posted on the movements. But it somewhat seems that maybe this is the guy that's been living in this burrow. And as we know, warthogs are diurnal creatures and they come into the burrows to spend the night. So I wonder if maybe we were in his way and he's just gonna go all the way around. So we're just gonna stick around here and we'll see what happens, because there is also a good chance that this male warthog will spot Tingana and just pretty much run away. Very clever, this boy. He had us fooled. Nick, you're wondering if leopards have unique hunting characteristics. I think every individual has got unique hunting characteristics. Leopards in general, maybe you've spotted the warthog. Leopards in general, they tend to prefer stalking and getting very, very close to their prey before they are able to jump and on it or pounce. They can be very fast. They're probably one of the fastest creatures or one of the fastest predators that we've got around this area. However, they can only sustain that speed for very few seconds. So this is why they have to try and get very close to pretty much anything to then be able to pounce on their prey. I think this boy in particular, he's been known to do this before. I didn't notice that there was a used burrow on the other side of the mound. So he's been known to just wait on top of burrows to either dig things out that go in or to drag them out as they decide not to come out. I think maybe he's... have you spotted that warthog now? Yes, look at his stalking position. He's definitely spotted it. I'm sure he can see it now. Now there's quite a bit of tension in the air. Sorry, I'm just trying to... So the warthog, I can just see some movement. Sorry guys, there are quite a few trees around here. The warthog is slowly coming towards the mound. And I think Tingana's just realized that, and you see he's lowering himself. You see that? So the warthog is, I believe that this is the resident warthog around this area. What a clever leopard. I'm sure this isn't by chance. I'm sure he had this all planned. Maybe that's what he started scenting when we were arriving here. And you see he's changed all of his demeanor, all of his position. So he's not laying down as he was before. Okay guys, the warthog is very, very close. So I'm going to shut up now. The warthog is on the other side of the mound. Very big tusks. I can only guess that the warthog is slowly making his way back into the burrow, and Tingana can see him. I think maybe he got a fright now. Maybe he thought there was another warthog coming from behind. Okay guys, I'm not gonna move for now, because if I move, I can spook either the leopard or the warthog. So we're just gonna stand still here and just pretty much let this one play out. I know we all want to see what's happening, however, we don't want to interfere whatsoever. So we're gonna let the two of them resolve this in their own natural way. Seen the warthog move away. He went roughly in that general direction. I think maybe he knew that there was something funny going on, or maybe that Tingana was up there. Maybe when Tingana moved and he got a bit of a fright, maybe that's when the warthog realized that there was something around here. I'm not too sure if Tingana can still see him. I don't think the warthog fully knows that Tingana is here. Sometimes they'll come and they'll approach burrow a few times before they go inside. Maybe the warthog's just doing a bit of a loop around his burrow. But I didn't see him run off too quickly, so he could still be around. And Tingana definitely seems to think so, because he's still looking with, a lot of attention in that particular direction. I wonder, we've still got a bit of a chance of this warthog coming back. And you see Impala. Tingana has not moved, and he can still see him, so I think he still believes that there's a chance of this warthog coming back. Like I said, sometimes warthogs come up and down before they decide to actually come into the burrow, which they do with their bums facing down. I wonder if he's just waiting for the warthog to come back. How lucky this warthog. He came around and didn't even know there was a potential predator around here. Probably because Tingana is sitting so high up, the wind is swirling. We will sit very still here and just see if perhaps a warthog comes back or if Tingana decides to make a move somewhere else. While Tingana makes up his mind, let's go over to Taylor, who's bumbling about.
Bumbling about, at least we got to see a couple of things at WildEarthTV Dam. Now what we are doing is we are going to check Vulture's nest very quickly. We're just on Central. I got stuck on a buffalo thorn and ripped my new jacket. Rookie error, so I'm sulking at the moment because now I have to go get another one, although maybe it's just going to be more rustic. There's just bits of fluff now sticking out. So we're gonna check Vulture's nest, and then we'll check a little bit of the drainage line, and then we're going to go up around Chameleon again, and we're going to weave up and down. We're going to check the hyena den. That's also what we're going to go and have a look at. And then hopefully we're either going to bump into some lions or leopards or hyena. All three would be great. But it sounds like you're all having a fantastic sighting with Ali and Tingana, and I hope he does get up and makes a successful attempt at catching that warthog. That would be really, really fantastic to see. Sure, Alice, you are on a roll. we all need punishments because we're just not concentrating this afternoon. It's so funny. So Alice, just as you know what we're laughing at in the car. Alice keeps updating me about what I'm doing, and supposed to be going to Ali. So obviously just grabbing the wrong radio, but it's hilarious. We always do this. It's our job is great. Our team is so much fun. You know what? At least we can laugh at all the mistakes that we make in life and not get too serious about them. And so that's all right. Have we got some Nyala? I'm too busy looking on the left-hand side where those lions once were, sitting in the long grass. Let me do this for you. There are indeed some beautiful Nyalas, a bachelor herd of Nyala, and all of similar size too. Unusual. Normally we see sort of varying ages of Nyala together, or any antelope, not typically just big boys like these chaps are. And they're lovely. Look at the size of their horns. Also, it's nice with the orange glow behind them coming from the sun, and living deep in the thicket. Now, it's these Nyala, as we've seen as though we've been talking about the wind and how it affects animal behavior. Nyalas are living permanently sort of in the thicker vegetation. They do come out occasionally, so they're not affected by the wind so much, I suppose. But it is dangerous living life on the edge. And when I say life on the edge, I mean the edge of a drainage system, which is typically where you'll find them. Off they go. They are moving. We're just crossing the road, which is quite nice, so we'll get a view. We'll have one last view of them, of course. But lovely, lovely gentlemen moving across the road and out into the open, and basically back towards that area where you spent some time with Ali and then Kahuma Pride when Amber Eyes introduced us to her little cub. I'm not sure if Tingana's on the stalk again, but I know that he's ready. He's probably licking his lips and ready to eat a warthog. Let's go take another look.
Well, the warthog hasn't come back, but we heard it squealing quite far away from here. So we wonder if there is potentially another predator, another leopard, perhaps a lion not too far from here, or what's going on, because, well, the warthog is out of our field of view. So we're gonna move around just to see if perhaps we can get a bit of a better look at Tingana, while one of the other vehicles goes around and tries to figure out what's happened with the warthog. Definitely. We don't really know what's going on now. Okay, maybe I can go around here. Or maybe not. Let's just maybe see. Tingana, what you looking at? What is happening? No. Do you think you can get him from here? Because I don't want to move onto the front, because obviously the burrow is there, and if the warthog does come, it's going to come from that particular area, so I don't want to interfere. So just bear with us, guys. We are trying to see what's happening without getting in the way of any of the action. Alright, so it seems like the warthog carried on running. Not too sure what he saw. I wonder perhaps there was a hyena out and about. Interesting, very interesting, because it's definitely started squealing, and warthogs have a very particular way of squealing once they get attacked, and it's very high pitched and, you know, very dramatic. So I thought maybe I heard a lion. Maybe it was just one of the vehicles moving. Oh. Right, I think rather than pretty much hearing anything around, it was just me making up, then confusing a lion with maybe the vehicle switching off. Very clever, Tingana. I had heard stories about you doing this, but I didn't ever think that I would get to see you actually pull it off. Seems like the warthog escaped just in case, just as he was about to come in and get into the burrow, because they normally do it with their backs towards the burrow, and then they leave their tusk, which is their way of defending themselves. They leave them facing out, so if anything does try to take them out of the burrow, like in this case Tingana, they can use their tusk to defend themselves. So I think the warthog was about to get in, and then all of a sudden something didn't feel right, and then it ran away. Daniel, you are 13 years old and you'd like to know how old can leopards get. Well, it depends if they're boys or girls. Boys tend to live a little bit less than the girls, but anything between maybe, I would say, 12 to 15 years of age, sometimes a little bit more than that if they've been particularly lucky in life. And females can live until maybe they're about 20 or so. I can hear the warthog down in the distance. I think maybe he just decided to go running, because sometimes warthogs share their burrows, so maybe it's just gone off telling everybody else not to come here because there's a Tingana sitting on top of their house. Prison, you're wondering if big cats purr like domestic cats. No, lions and leopards cannot purr like domestic cats. They are missing, they have different adaptations in their throat. Their bones are not as flexible as they can be in a domestic cat, but it is what allows them to roar and to soar and to make noises that we can hear for so many kilometers away from when they're actually culling. The only animal or the only big cat that can actually purr is a cheetah, and cheetahs, as a matter of fact, they don't roar. They do more like a chirping noise. And they've got cats, lions and leopards, they've got an ossified hyoid, which is the bone that allows them to make such a big such a big noise, whereas in domestic cats and in cheetahs this bone is not ossified, or the hyoid, sorry, is not ossified, and the vibration, that's what we perceive as the purring. They're still very alert. Carter, you are 13 and you'd like to know how many spots does a leopard have? I'm not too sure, I've never counted them, but if I had to take a wild guess, I would say a few hundred of them, because there are lots, even the big ones that you see. So on top of the head you'll see that it's just one single spot, but onto their body then there will be quite a few, and they are put one next to the other and they form pretty much a circle. So lots, and they've also got on their tails, on their toes, on their legs, on their throat, on their nose. So lots of spots. Haven't counted them, but maybe one day we should actually take a picture and try counting them all. I don't think I'll ever be close enough to a wild leopard to be able to count them and tick them off one by one.
We'll just check back down there. Okay.
Do you need me to move?
No.
Very, very interesting. We've been very lucky. We just caught him as he was scent marking and patrolling his territory on the road, and then he carried on moving north and came up to this termite mound, and he's been pretty much sitting on top of that mound for the last hour. I think it also proves just how patient they are, waiting for a great opportunity to come and to be able to bring down their prey. We saw this male nearly miss a chance. He didn't have to move a lot. I think the warthog spotted it before that. But we'll carry on waiting and see what else happens, if there's anything else that might come back into this area. But in the meantime, and while we wait, why don't we head over to Taylor and see what else she has found for the day.
We're very quickly just having a look at a bachelor group of Impala. There was also one in Nyala, or two in Nyalas lurking at the back, but we're not going to stay here for too long because I'd like to head around to that hyena den and see if anything's happening there. But we're on Ingwe Alley. I just came to do this road one last time to see if perhaps there are any leopards moving about, but it doesn't seem like there are any leopards just yet. Impala rams, be safe, because there were tracks coming in this direction. Or maybe we're going to hear the distress calls of Impala a little bit later. That could also happen. I think we've got the schools joining us soon. What is the time? I have to check. Almost. In like 8 minutes, I think it is. We are going to have the schools joining us. Just a reminder. 6 minutes? Is my clock wrong, or can I not do maths? Maybe one of the two. It could be both, actually. Let's go check that hyena den. Maybe we're going to get lucky tonight. Sebastian hasn't seen the hyenas either, and he was just saying he's also still waiting for his chance. So, Sebastian, maybe we're going to break the curse this evening. Let's hope so. I agree with those words. Whee, around the corner. Woo! Shot! Did you see that one? Goodness gracious, this mighty stick. I drove over a little branch on the side of the road, and part of the stick actually flipped and did a couple of backflips and then landed down. Should have put our signboards up to score it. Okay, through the dip we go. And then if we don't get lucky this side, I haven't decided yet. Maybe you can all help me out, so I'm going to ask for your help. Do you think I should go and check around Impala Plains and Gowrie Gate to see if the Nguhumas come back across from Simbambili? Or do you think I should go and check for a young Shongile? Hashtag Safari Live. If you think I should go look for lions, or if I should go and look for Shongile. I need a bit of assistance this afternoon, and then Alice will let me know what the verdict is. But hopefully we're going to be able to spend some time with these hyenas. Let's go and have a look. We're not far. I'm going the wrong way, Sebastian. Why are you not telling me? Why not? I'm going. I told you I'm going home now. And Sebastian didn't even tell me that I'd turned the wrong way. We're going the scenic route. That was a real blonde move there. Alice, did you see I'm also doing lots of strange things today? Instead of turning left and going towards Philemon's cut line, there we go. Thank you, Sebastian. I needed that again. Getting bopped on the head this afternoon. I think that's about the fifth time that I've needed that. Oh goodness. It's great, isn't it? Right, let's actually go to the hyena den. I think I was off searching for lions. Ooh! So Nick and Kylie and most of all of you who are watching have said that I should go and look for the lions. Okay, well that's it then. I shall pop into the hyena den. We'll have a look here now. I'll promise you we're right here. And then we will go... I don't know what roads we will take, but then we'll go sort of west. That'll be our plan. You never know, we might bump into Shadow as well. She likes it sort of around Triple M, and this is a good time for her to keep moving. Okay, everybody, fingers crossed. Let's get these hyenas. Positive thoughts, positive thoughts. I'm really hoping that today is going to be the lucky day. I'm too scared to look. Maybe I should close my eyes. Oh no, I've got to drive. Can't close my eyes. So Sebastian, you could probably just tell me left, right, left, right, left. Brake, brake, brake. You're about to hit an elephant. That might happen. Okay, we're approaching the den. Always got to make sure you come in very slowly and very quietly when you arrive at a den site. The adults won't mind the noise too much, but you don't want to give a fright to the young hyena cubs. They won't be too habituated around the vehicle, though the older cubs should be getting there now. I can't see anything yet. We'll do the whole loop around. And here we are. So here's the den. I'm just going to keep going around, keep scanning and keep looking. And Leslie, you're really hoping to see hyenas. Us too. Sebastian and I are sitting here biting our nails with anticipation, hoping that we get to see them. But I don't think we are going to have any luck, I'm afraid. There's nothing at the entrance. Mom is not sitting there. Just check around here. Nope. Nobody is outside of the den just yet. Okie dokie. Well, we'll go around then. Let's go back the other way. Bye, hyenas. Maybe next time. You break my heart, you know that. I come and look for you every single day and you always hide away. I'm going to have to make a very sad song about the hyenas. I'll think about one and see if we can get a good tune. Right. We're going to start making our way down to the western quadrant of Djuma to see if we can pick up anything on some lions as requested. Thank you again for helping me out with that. Ali is still with beautiful Tingana. I think he still might be resting up on the ground, so I'm going to send you back across to her.
Yes, he has not moved. Maybe he is feeling a bit sad because everybody said that they wanted to see lions instead of leopards. So maybe Tingana's heart is broken. I do think that everyone wants to see one lion, maybe two lions in particular. So I'm going to try and explain that to Tingana, make sure he doesn't feel too offended. I don't think he would be too worried. He's gone back to sleep, but what a patience he's got just to sit around here and wait for anything to come and go back into the burrow. I mean, it could be that there is something sleeping in there, although the fact that the warthog came around and he didn't go in could be a very good indication that there is nothing. But maybe he's waiting for some more warthog to make their way in. Maybe, you know, hopefully there is an aardvark in there that's gonna run before Tingana manages to catch him. Maybe a pangolin is in there, who knows? Here's to hoping. But what? I think it just takes or shows you how patient they have to be as well as opportunistic, and I suppose it's got to be an opportunity, a combination of the two for them to successfully be able to hunt something, because he was coming along and clearly there was something there that caught his attention and he's got on top, so he's got the opportunity to exploit this opportunity or this setting that he's in, and he's just making the most of it. I mean, he doesn't really have anywhere else to be. So I wonder if he's just gonna sit around here and just wait for the rest of the day to go through and just pretty much wait for anything else to come around. Although I do think that if too many hours pass by, or I would say in the next half an hour or so, if nothing comes along, then we've got a good chance of him coming down and then carry on moving along. Let's just give him a bit more time, see what he decides to do, but let's go across to Taylor, who would like to say hello once more.
Hello everybody and welcome today. Obviously I'm welcoming, well, the 3 different places that are visiting us today. We've got 2 schools and we've also got a library that have joined in. So the first school that I'm going to welcome is Frank W. Cox High School. Welcome to all of you. Then we've also got Garrisonville Elementary. So we've got some youngins joining us, the youth of today, the minds that really matter. So I hope you pay a lot of attention. And then we've also got the Jessamine Country Public Library joining us. So welcome to all of you, and I look forward to hearing some questions from you. So what we're doing at the moment is we're driving around looking for lions, and if you're wondering what my name is, because I forgot to introduce myself, my name is Taylor, and then on camera with me, the man bringing you all the action that we're hopefully going to see is Sebastian, and this is of course live and interactive, as you know, so if you do have any questions, you're welcome to ask away, and I look forward to them. So who knows what we're going to see, but I do want you to meet my dear friend Ali, and she's got a spotted surprise.
Hello and welcome everyone. We are very happy to have you today on the last bit of our sunset safari, and we've got a spotted friend that has just raised his head to say hello and welcome all of the schools and the county library that's joining us today. What a stunning view we've had. It's a male leopard that's just scanning around the area, looking at everything and falling asleep every now and again. So we are hoping that he's going to become a bit more active as the day starts coming to an end and possibly start moving around, and who knows, maybe even go hunting. Abby, you're wondering how long leopards live for. It depends a bit if they're a male or a female. Males tend to live slightly less than a female, but females, it's believed that they can live an average of 15 to maybe 20 years if they get very lucky, and males a little bit less, probably maybe around 15, maybe 18 if they get quite lucky. Conditions are out here quite hard for all of the animals around, so they've got to be able to hunt and hide and pretty much get it right every single time to be able to survive for such a long period of time out here in the African bush. Javier, you'd like to know how fast do leopards run? Well, if they're charging, they can come at a speed of maybe 90 kilometers an hour, which is extremely fast. I mean, it's just about 100 meters every 3 seconds or so. So, very, very quick animals. However, they can only sustain that speed for a few moments. They're not able to just carry on running endlessly like that, and they'll have to stop after a few meters. So this is why when they go hunting, they decide to get very close to their prey, and then they can cover that distance. Jaden, you'd like to know if leopards sleep at night. Yes, they can sleep during the night as well as during the day. So this guy has been sleeping a little bit, but we found him earlier on and he was actually moving around. He was patrolling his territory and scent marking. Are you getting up? Are you coming down? But they can also sleep throughout the night. Copy, will do. I'm gonna stick around here. I'll keep you posted. Sorry guys, that was just me talking to one of the other vehicles that's joining the sighting and viewing it with us. We've been here very patiently waiting, and there was a warthog that came along a little while ago, but we think it might have felt that there was something wrong and it carried on running. Because you see, the leopard that we're looking at, he's sitting on top of a termite mound, but on this old termite mound there is a burrow, there is a hole not too far below where the leopard is sitting, so I think he's patiently waiting here for anything to come and spend the night inside the burrow, because it should be quite safe to sleep in there, and he clearly knows that. Bentley, you're wondering how leopards hunt their prey. Well, we're looking at one of them pretty much try to hunt their prey at the moment. Sorry, I'm a bit cold today. I think maybe I need to put another layer on. But they have a few different tactics. But normally, the way that they'll do it is that they'll stalk their prey, so they'll start moving very, very slowly. And they'll try to get into almost like pouncing or striking reach. Because like we were saying earlier, they are quite fast creatures, but they can only sustain that speed for a few meters. And whatever it is that they're chasing, they also can be very fast. And they have their sense of hearing and smell and eyesight that is also very good. That allows them to detect the leopards before they come onto them. David, you're wondering how good a leopard's vision is. Well, I would say very good. It's definitely a lot better than our vision, especially during the night. So they've got a bit of a different structure in their eyesight than ours, which allows them to almost reuse the light that gets into their eyes during the night. And this allows them to see a lot better than what we humans do during the day. So they use it for their advantage, and that is why sometimes they prefer to hunt either when they're in low light conditions like this one or during the night, because they've got a bit of an advantage on top of the other animals. So you see the light is slowly starting to fade, so I think if nothing comes around in the next 45 minutes or so onto this burrow, we might get lucky with him coming down and maybe starting to move somewhere else, looking for the next opportunity to hunt. Ellie, you're wondering how big male or female leopards can grow up to. Well, a male can be up to about 80 kilograms, so it's probably the size of an average person, I would say. Whereas a female, or a very big male, might even be a bit more than that. Whereas a female, they can be about 60-70 kilograms. So they're a lot smaller than lions, which is one of the things that allows them to climb into the trees. They're a bit more agile in that regard because they're not as heavy. But still bigger than a normal cat. Rick, you're wondering what is faster, a leopard or a lion? Well, technically speaking, and over very short distances, leopards are faster than lions. However, leopards and lions are a lot faster than humans, so that's why if you ever do come to Africa, one of the first rules that they teach you when you're walking is never to run, because we cannot outrun anything. Everything is faster than us. The elephants, the buffalo, the antelope, everything. Andrew, you're wondering if leopards stay in one spot to wait for food. Well, this particular leopard, it seems like this is one of his hunting tactics. He'll stay in an area because he knows that animals are bound, or very likely bound, to come back into this hole to spend the night. Some of the creatures that move around during the day, they often go into old holes inside termite mounds or areas that are very thick, and that's where they spend the night because it's a bit safer. So I think he's being very clever and he's waiting for anything to come back around. But if nothing comes, then he's gonna probably carry on, move off and start looking for food somewhere else. Sila, you're wondering why leopards have spots. Well, it's to hide themselves better. So you see the spots around the body, they break the general body shape of the animal, and if you look maybe a bit more towards the left bottom corner of your screen, you'll see that where the grass is, you can barely see the back of the leopard. So the spots are probably there, or the leopards have evolved to harm them there to blend in better with their environment. While we wait for this leopard's luck to change, let's go over to Taylor and see how she's doing on this beautiful evening.
We're still trying to find the lions, of course, and now one of the things on safari is to be able to find the animals is you have to go searching for them, because I better tell you whereabouts we are. You're probably all thinking, where on earth are these people driving around? So we're in an area called the Sabi Sand Wildtuin, and it's basically a private wilderness area in the northeastern corner of South Africa, but it's open to the Greater Kruger National Park. So essentially, that leopard that you were looking at with Ali has got over 8.5 million acres of land to roam around on. So that's quite a large area, if you can imagine. So to find that one leopard on all of this space is pretty spectacular, and great tracking done by Ali this afternoon. And are they man-made? So yes, this one that we're on right now is indeed man-made. It's a dust road, so it's a dirt road. Some of them have got gravel on, depending on the soil type that you find in that area will also determine the color of the road. And there's quite a bit of sand, river sand in this entire area, in the Sabi Sand Wildtuin. So we have got man-made roads going through. I'm just going to let this car pass me behind me. So what we're on was actually on one of the boundary roads at the moment. And there we go. So this boundary road gives you access to the various lodges that we have in the area, so you can come and stay on safari out here. And we've created these roads so we can navigate on, but there aren't very many of the roads. There's actually more pockets of bush than there is actual roads. Now I want to jump out very quickly. I want to show you something. Have a look over here. So this, we've got leopard tracks too. I didn't even see those. Look what I've just found. I've just found leopard tracks coming straight out of the bush here, walking. There's a footprint, and then these ones you can see quite nicely, but this is from a female leopard, so the tracks are much smaller than that of the male. It might be a bit difficult to see, but they're just over here. So that's quite interesting. We'll try and follow up on these. We'll keep going down this road. What I did want to show you was all these bits of dung that you can see in the road. It's from an elephant, and it looks like the elephant was drawing down the road too with its trunk, so probably had its trunk on the ground trying to pick the center perhaps of the breeding herd of the girls, because the boys roam around by themselves. And now if you want to see how large an elephant footprint is, I'm standing in the middle of it. I'm going to draw the outline for you. That is one elephant track. Now the size of this footprint says to me that it's most likely a big elephant bull. Again, there's only one set of tracks, so it does indicate that he's on his own, but he will be a massive boy, and I don't know if he's too far away. The dung is not fresh, so I don't know if the dung is probably not related to the tracks, because those tracks I can still see the grooves in the feet, which say to me that that wasn't done very long ago, maybe a little bit earlier this afternoon. We could see one of the greatest mammals in the world if we're really lucky. Let's go see what else we can find. Now, I think it's amazing that at the Jessamine Library there are over 109 people watching us this evening. Or it could be morning or afternoon, wherever you are. We're obviously Central African time here. Let me see what the time is quickly in South Africa. It is almost 5:30 in the evening. So that is amazing to have such a large crowd following us. Oh, the pressure all of a sudden has set in. I'm so nervous, sweating on my forehead. Oh, I hope I can find you some animals now, but hopefully we will. But it is difficult, like I said, to try and figure out whereabouts these animals have walked. We've seen those leopard tracks. I have a suspicion as to which female leopard it could be. I'm going to go and check some of her favorite spots and also keep an eye out, of course, for some lions. This is the time that they get moving. And speaking of animals, as they start to get moving, Tingana will hopefully soon be up and moving around. So before he gets going, let's go back across to Ali. We do hope that Tingana is going to be up and about. He's got his head up
Tingana is the name that we use to refer to this particular leopard, and because leopards are territorial animals, they tend to stick around a certain area. So the more we drive around, the more it becomes easier for us to see him. So he has been one of the regulars around this area. So this is why we know who he is. Lucy, you're wondering why the leopard's ears are twitching. It could be because there's a bit of grass that is annoying him. Well, the wind has died down a little bit, but maybe there are little flies, little insects moving around there. But also they start moving around quite a bit because he is listening, hearing everything that's around him. So the ears tend to move onto areas where he can pick up a certain noise. Alexa, you'd like to know how well leopards hear. Oh, yawning. Look at those teeth. Leopards can hear very well. Far better than us. I think maybe their sense of smell is slightly better than their hearing, but they can hear depending on their area they're in and how cold the weather is, because sometimes when the weather is colder, they can hear a bit further away. But a couple of 100 meters, sometimes if they're very lucky and there's very little in between their way, maybe even a few kilometers. You can see he's definitely hearing everything that's around him. McKenna, you're wondering if leopards can see color. Well, it's a source of great debate the way that leopards and lions see. However, it is still widely believed that lions and leopards and in general predators, they don't see in color, or they don't see as many colors as what we do, and that they normally see in between shades of black and gray and white. So this is partly due to the fact that the cells in their eyes are slightly different than the ones in our eyes. There are two main type of cells in our eyes. We've got the rods that allow us to see a bit more clearly during the night. They are better for low light conditions. And then we've got the cones, the color cells. So leopards have more rods than cones in their eyes. Bentley, you're wondering how leopards hunt their prey. Well, they've all got a bit of a different way, but most times they just require to get very close to their prey and then to be able to pounce on it. So in order to do so, they've got to be very careful of where the wind is blowing and what they're stepping on, and just to make sure that they're out of sight, out of smell, and out of hear for the prey that they're trying to bring down. David, you're wondering if leopards live in groups. No. They are believed to be somewhat social in certain areas, but no, leopards are solitary animals. The only time that you will see more than one leopard, it would be either a mating pair, so a male and a female, or a female with her youngsters. They're not like lions that they live in big groups and prides and they look after each other. Leopards pretty much fend for themselves. Sienna, you're wondering how many cubs a leopard can have in a litter. It normally varies the number, but it can be 1 to 4. I think the common average would be 2, although I've seen or heard, I don't think I've ever seen a particular leopard with 3. I've only seen photos of them around the general area. But 1 to 2, I would say that's the most common number. And sometimes, well, unfortunately, they could have more, but sometimes the little ones die before we manage to actually get to know them. RJ, you want to know how big leopards' teeth get? Well, their canines, which are the front teeth, the ones that they use to bring down their prey, are quite long. I would say maybe imagine a very big dog and maybe make those teeth twice as big. Would be probably about there. Very, very big teeth. Samuel, you're wondering if male leopards climb trees. Yes, both males and females can climb trees. Big yawn. Maybe he'll start moving around sometime later on today. Hopefully in the next few minutes. I would love to see him walking a little bit. So yes, they can both climb trees. Depending on the area depending on the area where they live, they can climb trees more often or not. In this particular area, because we've got a lot of hyenas around, they seem to prefer putting their kills up on the trees just to try and preventing the hyenas from coming and eating them. But sometimes they go up into trees, especially the younger cubs, just because they like playing around and going up and down, and sometimes you'll also find them sleeping on top of a tree. Seth, you're wondering how long it takes before a leopard cub is trained to hunt. Well, from when they're about 6 weeks old or so, they start having some sort of understanding of what a prey species is, and they go a lot by instinct. So a lot of the times they'll see the animals moving around and they'll know that there's something that they've got to do with them. But they only become fully independent when they are about 1.5 years old, and that's when the mother pushes them away and then they start fending for themselves. But long before that, they already know how to hunt and bring down smaller things. Sometimes the bigger things, it'll take them a bit long, like maybe an antelope, just because they need to become a bit stronger to be able to bring one of those animals down. Seems like our boy here is still quite sleepy. We'll see, we'll stick around with him, see if perhaps he decides to wake up. But let's go to Taylor, who's in search of all of the night creatures of Africa.
I think I've found one of them, but it's one of our nocturnal species of birds. So for all the youngins that are watching, nocturnal means animals that come out at night. So they've got very special eyes. They've got lots of rods in their eyes, which are light receptors, and they can get light from the moon, from the stars, don't fly away, and then of course even from a spotlight they're able to utilize them. So we can't unfortunately shine the spotlight on the diurnal animals. Where have you gone? No, I just had a nightjar, but it's flown away. It's one of my favorite birds. We might see some more. Now, oh, there it is. Hang on. Look. Oh no, don't fly. It's going to sit back down, I think. Are you? Are you going to sit down? It's just flown around the corner. Oh, that's a pity. They can be a little bit on the nervous side, but maybe we find another one. We'll keep checking the roads. Now, there's another car coming, so I just want to pull off the side of the road. Andrew, you were wondering what is the best time of the day to go on a safari, or not to go on a safari, to find animals. It depends. So there is another car coming just down the road. It really just depends. Early mornings and sort of late afternoon, so around dusk, sort of the time that we're driving around in now, that's probably the best time for the cats to start to get active. All the nocturnal creatures start to come out too. I find winter is the best time of the year. Now, winter for us is from June right through to August, and then it's when the bush is a lot thinner and not so thick, which is really quite nice, so you can see a lot further. And Kate, you're wondering what is the weather like now? But before I even get into that, I'm just trying to see whose just walked on the road. I think it could be a hyena that was walking here. Yes, it looks like there's some hyena activity. So if we could find some hyenas, that would be good. They don't look particularly old either. They also just keep going at this time of the night. I keep thinking I can hear things over the sound of the engine, but I could just be imagining it too. It's quite windy, so it's making it a little bit difficult to be able to hear everything. Right, let's keep going. Now, Kate, you were wondering what the weather is like now. So, Kate, it's pretty chilly for us. It's cold. Now, you're probably all sitting there laughing, going, oh, goodness, South Africans don't even know what cold is, and you're quite right. We don't know what cold is. We're very lucky. We have a very warm climate. So, we're in the middle of winter right now, and I don't know what the temperature is, but it feels as though it must be about maybe 72 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe slightly colder than that, and it will drop down to much less than that. It normally gets around to the low sort of 60s, I would say, but not too much colder than that at all. And then warm, so warm during the day. Now, a question from Aiden, and the question is, how many species of nocturnal birds do we get out here? The answer to that is many. I don't know if I could count them all, but the common ones that we see are the nightjars, and hopefully I'll be able to find one for you. And then owls, we've got a variety of species of owls. Thick knees come out at night too. Coursers, oh my goodness, and the list is actually endless. There are too many. But a creature that I would like to find for you, other than just hyenas, is perhaps a chameleon. I don't know if any of you have ever seen a chameleon before, but if you look very, very carefully, and they're quite difficult to spot, but it's easier to spot them at night because you see a grey reflection coming off of them. During the day, they're completely camouflaged and you can't spot them. You've got to have very, very good eyes to be able to spot a chameleon during the day. So I'm going to be scanning and searching for those too. And we're getting to the area where the lions were last seen. Right, let's quickly have a look here and just check. So the lions were on the move this morning. We heard them calling right throughout the entire day, and they were just over here. Now, speaking of another nocturnal creature, so you're wondering if there are bunnies in this area. We don't have any rabbits or bunnies. We have got hares though, and they're slightly different. They're much better at running than the rabbits or the bunnies are. So we might see a scrub hare this evening too. But we'll have to just wait and see. I'm unfortunately not having luck today, and that's part of a safari too, I have to tell you, is having a whole lot of luck. It's about being at the right place at the right time, catching that animal, crossing the road or out in the open. Because like I said, the brush is still fairly thick. We had a decent amount of late rain, which was most welcoming, because for the past 3 years we were experiencing the worst drought we'd had in 100 years. So I can't describe to you how dry it was. It looked like a desert. What the roads look like, that is what the bush looked like. Not a tree had a leaf on it. There was not a blade of grass. It was so sad. So it is really refreshing to, of course, see so much vegetation that's still lush and green and before the winter months, because we don't see a drop of rain during our winter. We only start to see rain again in this area normally around the end of September, so it's a long wait. So let's keep our fingers crossed that there was enough rain to keep everyone going, or to keep the animals going, and of course hopefully enough food too. But we're still hot, well, not hot on the heels of anything. We're going to hopefully find that leopard whose tracks we had, or lions are going to pop out in front of us, or a chameleon is going to show itself. But Ali again is with Tingana. She's not letting him out of her sight. Let's go and have another look at that beautiful spotted cat.
Well, somebody's decided to get up. Are you... Whew. I was a bit worried that he was going to start sleeping onto the other side. But no, I think there's a bit of grooming going on. He's been yawning a bit the last few moments, so this is normally a good indication that he's going to become a bit more active. So it could potentially lead to him coming down the termite mound and carry along, moving towards his nighttime patrol. Heron, they make all sorts of noises, but I would say the most common one, the one that they use to mark their territory, is called sawing, and it almost sounds like a chainsaw, and that's why they get that name. He's gone down onto the wrong side of the mound, so we're going to have to move around and see if perhaps we can see him from the other side. Let's see, I'm not too sure where he's gone up to. Ah, he's behind us. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Alright, we're going to try and figure a way out here, but let's go to Taylor, who's found one of my favorite creatures in the bush.
No more just driving around searching for things. I've managed to spot one of the hardest things to find in the bush, the animal with the most perfect camouflage. And as I said to you earlier, I was hoping to find a chameleon. We have one. Now, he's a beautiful chameleon. He's not particularly large, and this is called a flap-necked chameleon. It's the only species that we get in this area. And he's come out. He's just sleeping at the moment. He's actually not really going to do much this evening at all. They normally just come to the edge of the branches to rest and then during the days they're slightly more active. But he's beautiful. It's quite a big one. And they've got the most incredible, it's hard to see because he's hidden behind the leaves, but actually before we even get there, let me show you how I spotted this chameleon. So you're going to see, look how dark it goes. Don't panic. Right, I'm going to quickly show you how I spot this chameleon. So look how it's completely disappeared, and then watch when I shine my light over it. Can you see how there's that sort of flash? I don't know if you can see it, but with my eyes I can see a flash of white and silver, if that makes any sense. So I'm just turning volume up again. Look at that. Sorry Alice, please may I have that question again? And he's just sitting there perfectly still, won't be moving around too much at all. Now Destiny, you're wondering what is the smallest mammal that comes out at night? Probably the little rodents, and maybe bushveld gerbils or the elephant shrews, something along those lines. That would be probably my best guess, but this chameleon doesn't eat anything like that, in case you were wondering what chameleons feed on. But like I said, it's not going to be doing too much eating this evening. It's just resting, but they'll catch grasshoppers and flies and ants, anything they can really get their tongues on. But it's holding on very, very tightly. Can you see those little legs are wrapped nice and tight on that branch? Now, Aiden, you're wondering if chameleons can see 360 degrees? I think almost, because he's not moving now. He seems to be, like I said, fast asleep, but sometimes we're lucky and we get to see their eyes moving around. They can move up, they can move backwards, they can move forwards. Whether it's a complete 360 degrees, I'm not 100% certain, but they can definitely see a lot better than you and I can. And it's important that they have eyes that can move around, because not only are they trying to spot prey, but they're also trying to avoid things that would want to eat them. So out here, nothing is safe. You get many different animals. Oh, let's very quickly go across to Ali.
So Tingana decided to make a move, and he came running and dashing, so we saw him jump onto another... Sorry guys, we just had him. He jumped onto another sounder of warthogs. So I'm sure he's not too far from here, and they were all dashing onto different directions, and by the sounds of it, it seems like he caught one. In front of us. Straight in front of us. Has he got anything in... Let's see. Oh my goodness. He's got him. He's got one of the warthogs. So, very patient leopard. He just knew where to go, and I'm sure he knew this warthog were around here this whole afternoon, and he just came. Hey? No, I don't mind. Sorry, I thought you said against it. Sorry, guys. Oh. Aiden, you wonder how strong a leopard's mouth is? Well, very, very strong. I mean, he's just managed to pull this little warthog down, and he's just busy suffocating it pretty much with the power of its mouth. So I don't think this warthog is still alive. Sorry guys. Mike, I think if you shine from there, he's got a bamba. He just managed to bring down one of those warthogs. Ephraim, you're welcome too. Sorry, as I move around, then my hand moves with me. I've got to learn to multitask a little bit more. Sorry guys, there's another vehicle here with us. So I was just giving him a bit of an idea of what's happening. So you see he's still holding down this creature, this warthog that we're looking at. By the looks of it, a bit of a youngster. And he hasn't moved, and my goodness, it was so fast. We just saw him jump onto the burrow, and then all of these warthogs started coming out very quickly, and clearly he just decided to dash and make a run for one of them. And even now we can hear some of them outside just around us. So I am sorry if you find this a bit too harsh, so you're more than welcome to look away and maybe just come back a little bit later. This is, however, pretty much just as raw as nature gets, and for every life that persists, unfortunately, there's more than likely one that has to perish. In this particular case, well, it didn't fare well for the warthog, but this is probably one of the reasons why this male leopard has been doing so well. And I do think that he knew exactly what he was doing the whole afternoon on top of that termite mound, because the warthogs that we found were not too far from there, so I'm sure he knew that around this area there were lots of warthogs. He is the territorial animal around here, the dominant male, so he knows all of this area. He knows where to go look for food and where to go look for water. Okay, we are going to let you all pretty much recover your breath, and we're gonna go to Taylor in the meantime.
You are very, 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 very lucky to have seen what you just saw. I've guided guests before that have come on safari once a year for 10 years, and the only thing that they ever wanted to see was a leopard catching its prey or a lion catching its prey. So for those of you who are first-time viewers, count yourselves exceptionally lucky. Very, very impressive. So that's quite cool, and at least we know that the resident male leopard has got a meal, and he'll be here tomorrow morning. So I know all our regular viewers are going to be super excited about that. We left our chameleon because I didn't want to bother him too much with the spotlight. Like I said, even though the chameleons, we seem to spot them easier at night, they're not necessarily completely nocturnal. I actually discovered not so long ago, I had a couple of sightings where chameleons were acting sort of quite negatively to the artificial light. They and I don't know if you saw, I try and shine it off of them when I'm shining on them for long periods, so it's not the entire bulb that's getting them, but they started to show signs of anger. So they were sort of going quite dark in color, they were sort of expanding their throats, trying to make themselves look big and scary, and the only thing that we were done, and I sat in the car, was the spotlight, and I took it away, and then they started to relax. We won't bother it too much. Now Colton, as we drive about in these open cars on the safari filled with all sorts of dangerous animals, you are wondering if us as guides are ever in danger from the animals. We most certainly are, but there's a big but here though, is that we are exceptionally trained in animal behavior. It's a huge part of our studies in order to become a guide, with a lot of other things that we have to learn. So we learn how to read animals' behavior. So animals won't just get up and attack you unless there's something really wrong. Maybe they're injured and you didn't know. There's obviously a couple of exceptions. They give you warning signs. So they'll tell you, hey, you know, Taylor, you're getting a little bit close to me this evening. Please, can you move away? And well, then if I don't react to whatever animal is warning me, then eventually they're going to turn and go, right, I've asked you so many times, now I'm going to move you myself, or I'm going to growl or chase you, or something along those lines. So as long as you read the animal behavior correctly, then you should be okay. But also, we've been interacting in this area for well over 30 years with these open safari vehicles. So to some extent the animals are habituated to the cars. They don't see us as a threat. They see us as sort of neutral. We're not food, we're nothing to be scared of. We're like a rock, or for instance a tree. We're just completely neutral, which is quite nice in fact. Now Evan, you're wondering, and you're only 15 years old, who the most common animal is in this area. I would have to say the most common species of animal in Africa, it must
We're trying to look for Tingana. He's just moved off with the warthog in his mouth. So I'm going to try and position again so that we can maybe have another glance at him. I think he's still moving in the general direction. I'm not too sure. Alright guys, just bear with us for a second while we try to more it that way. Okay, I also think he went that way, but apparently there's a hole here. Do you see a hole there, Craig? Here. Okay, that's not... Okay. That's maybe... I think maybe I can push my luck through here. Edson, you're wondering the whole thing. Very likely he will, unless a part of it gets stolen. All the meaty parts and probably some of the organs. He will leave the tusks and the hooves that he will not eat. Wonder if maybe... Ah, there we go. Ah, you see, conveniently up on a tree. He's eyeing the tree. Oh, wait, I got so excited I turned it off. Mind my head. Sorry. Alright, he has brought the kill to the base of a marula tree, so I wonder if he's gonna try and go all the way up here and put it up there. Sometimes they do that to prevent their kill from being stolen by other nocturnal creatures, maybe other leopards, hyenas. But he's definitely looking like he wants to take it up there, so maybe let's just give him a second to see what he would want to do. Oh, I think he's gonna make it. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look how strong this animal is. My goodness. Now the tricky part will be to try and keep it up there. Okay, I'm going to try to move again. Sorry, just see if maybe I can get through here somewhere and we can actually see the leopard. I can't see. Alright, there we go. Okay, maybe if I go slightly forward. There we go. So he's trying to dangle the kill on top of the tree. He's got to put it in a way that it's not gonna fall off. This is not a fully grown warthog that he's caught, but rather a youngster. And again, like I say, if you find this too much, please do look away. Unfortunately, we don't plan for these things. This is just pretty much the way nature works all on itself. And as tough as it can be sometimes, like I said, it is, you know, what a leopard has to do in order to survive. I think he's still a bit concerned, whereas the warthog is still alive right now because he hasn't let go. And normally the way that cats, lions and leopards kill is by suffocation, so I think he's just making sure that everything is fine, that he can reposition the kill on top of the tree and it won't fall down or perhaps still be slightly alive. We really hope it's not. Because, yeah, we feel very sorry for the poor warthog, but very happy for Tingana. Abby, you're wondering how much weight can a leopard carry. Sometimes they can even carry twice their body weight up a tree. Maybe not just as high up. In this case, because it was something that it wasn't you will find that they will actually either feed off of it for a little bit, or they will take the stomach contents out and feed off the ovoids just to make it a bit lighter before they try to put it up a tree. Well, what an afternoon it's been. I really don't know what to make of all of these mixed emotions that we've got now. I think this just proves that he had a plan all along, and we just happened to stumble upon him at the right time to witness what just happened, which is very incredible. And again, I'm at a loss of words. I hope you guys, well, I can't say enjoy, but I hope you guys have a greater understanding of nature today and just how magnificent he's been, just to let us have a glimpse into the life of the leopard. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning.